can't stand it. If they have the film on it, even if you try to wash it off, he still knows.
He knows it was there.
And so I know he was not gonna eat any of them anyway, so I put them away this morning. So you're gonna have to work with what we got, buddy.
You wanna switch out?
Now we can switch if you guys want to. 'Cause I think that the next people are just the sloth encounter, so we will still go in and hold Zoe probably for a little bit, right? Because they'll be coming in to do the flash.
That's
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. We've got a little bit more time, so if you want me, I can take Dash from and then we'll switch out chairs. That way he can hold for a little bit.
Bye, buddy.
Alright, you guys can switch out chairs. You have to kind of evade him.
Yep.
Yeah. Duck under a little bit.
Alright, so he's just gonna open up his back legs and wrap around your waist.
Mhm.
And put one hand underneath the booty, one on the back there. Let's see. Got a few more sweet potatoes left. He was whacking those. Give this back. I'll cut up some more sweet potatoes for us.
There you
So a lot of people wonder how sloths are able to hold themselves up for as long as they do, you know, because he's just hanging by his two back claws right now, and it's completely effortless for him. You know, he's not struggling whatsoever. But if I tried to do that, it'd be really difficult to do. Because for us, squeezing down or holding on to something like that, we're using muscles and energy and ligaments and tendons to do that. But for a sloth, clamped down like that around a branch is actually their relaxed state. So this for them is like this for us. Doesn't
Like a
take any
bat.
energy, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just opposite. And for that reason, if a sloth were to actually pass away in that position, or, you know, all four hold on to the branch, they would continue to hang there until something rotted or
no,
knocked
no.
them off. Yeah, they would
Okay.
continue to hang there in that tree.
How big do they usually get?
The two-toed sloths can get up to be 20 pounds at their max. Flash is about 15.
I
Now,
was gonna
this-
say, he looked like he might be close.
Yeah, he looks like it, but a lot of it's hair.
Okay.
That hair will kind of continuously grow as they get older. You know, it does slow down quite a bit. It's not like they're going to be mammoths, like woolly mammoths, by the time that they get old, but because they can live in captivity, the oldest sloth we know of lived to be 54 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. It's not typical that they live that long. Typically in captivity, it's around 30 years. But they definitely have the ability to do that when they're in captivity and when they're being, you know, fed everything that they need.
Right.
And not having to get away from things that are trying to eat them, because that's the sloth's biggest concern.
What is their main predator?
So the number one thing that's out to eat a sloth is harpy eagles and jaguars. The harpy eagle is the most successful animal at it because they have the element of surprise. The
Okay.
jaguars don't have it as much because they can pick up that little bit of motion,
Mhm.
and they know to turn their heads and they'll see it before it even gets to them.
Oh, okay. Now, do they shed or anything, or is it better for them to have more fur?
They really don't shed too much. Some people consider them to be hypoallergenic animals, but since they don't have any shed, they don't have any natural dander either.
Right, okay.
So a lot of people that say they're allergic to cats and dogs and things like that will come in. They're like, I forgot to take my Benadryl. I know I'm probably going to be sneezing and coughing after
Yeah.
this. And they usually do pretty good. They're like,
No
I'm
dander, no
surprised. Yeah.
allergy. Yeah, I didn't know if it was like better for them to have more fur for insulation to keep their temperature up or not.
Not necessarily. Because when they're born, when they're little babies, their hair is just, their hair is really, really short.
Okay.
And his is a lot longer than what it was when we first got him. Even the shortest hair that he has on the top of his head, it was even shorter than that. And today, actually, you guys won't get to see it because she's going to be up at the main house, but we're actually getting our fourth baby sloth in today.
So y'all have three now
So
to get
3 right now, we're about to get our fourth one, and she's going to pick her up at the airport right now. And she will be coming from the same breeder that we got Dash and Zoe from.
Now, is there any acclimation periods you guys?
Yeah,
have to
so
go
yeah,
through?
she'll have to go through, you know, a few weeks of just getting acclimated to us and the new environment and everything, because up until this point, she's had access to her mother, and now she won't.
Okay.
And so the mother has been the one doing most of the climbing, and now
Okay.
she's got to be, you know, doing the most by herself. Now, the sloths that we get from the breeder that Dash came from, are raised very differently than Flash because they're comfortable with being held and everything.
Yeah.
And they're very spoiled. So when they come to us, they spend a lot of time in a little basket where they spend a lot of their, they take their naps like Dash. He prefers either to be in somebody's arm or in that basket. You put him into his enclosure and he's like, what the heck is this? Where's my basket? Where's my person?
Okay.
He doesn't like to come as much. Yeah.
Something,
Mhm.
okay.
And he will even, in his enclosure, we have to keep towels down on the floor because he will go all the way to the floor and cover himself up in the towel. He likes to wrap himself up, yeah.
Okay.
And he has, you said cocoon like that, and it started me thinking, he has started to actually cocoon himself up where he will completely wrap himself and then roll a couple times. He didn't used to do that, but now he does, and in the mornings it's funny because I'm like, I have to roll him over to get him out of the towel. It's funny. But it's funny because Zoe didn't do that. And Zoe was raised the same way that Dash was by the same breeder. And then, came here and we raised them very similarly. But their quirks, their little personalities and everything are so different. It's funny to see the differences between the two.
Just like a person.
Yeah. And you'll get to see, we'll go in with Zoe here in just a minute and you'll get to see her personality. She's got a lot more exploratory personality. He'll just take some good fat naps on people and he's completely content with it. Zoe likes to she'll either be snuggled up around your shoulder, she likes to be up high on your chest, or she'll be curled up into a little ball pouting because she's not up high. And then she likes to explore around if she knows that food's around. She'll be like leaning backwards and leaning over to the side. It kind of scares some people because they're like, is she wanting to get away? Is she not comfortable with being held? And I'm like, I promise you, she's comfortable. If she wasn't comfortable, she wouldn't be doing this. She wouldn't be trusting you enough to climb around like that. And then when I go to get her, if she's in like exploring mode where she's, reaching around and looking at different things, then she sees me coming, she tries to go right back up around their shoulders because she knows when she comes back to me, she has to go back into her enclosure and she doesn't want to be by herself. Yeah.
Now, are they nocturnal? Do y'all like
Yes.
all lights off, or do y'all leave?
Yes, all of the lights go off in the evenings, and that's when they move around the most because that's when their vision works the best. Their vision is kind of like night goggle vision, where at nighttime they see a lot better. And so they're not really fully nocturnal animals because they really only sleep for about 12 to 13 hours a day. Then at night they'll move around a lot more, but they do sleep some at night as well.
But they're mainly herbivores. They don't need any meat, anything.
They're kind of, the two-toed sloths at least. The three-toed are completely herbivores, but the two-toed sloths, they're kind of opportunistic omnivores. So if they're in the wild, if they were to come across a little bird's nest with some really young baby birds in it, they would take that opportunity to eat.
Interesting,
like that,
okay.
Yeah. Or lizards and bugs, insects, things like that. They would
I had
eat
no
too.
idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
What do you think, bud? Was he liking those sweet potatoes?
Oh, yeah.
Sweet potato slashes?
Yeah.
What do you think, bud?
Come on down.
Dash has got that little piece of rice on his face and he hates to have his face cleaned off. He's like a little toddler. Yeah, you gotta clean it. And he's like, dodging.
How much do they eat? Like
On
normally?
average, they eat about 10% of their body weight every day. Yeah.
Wow.
And so you can imagine
But that's through
10%
the day.
every day. Yeah, throughout the day. They're kind of snackers. They'll just graze throughout the day, especially
Okay.
Dash and Zoe. They'll just kind of eat here a little bit here and there as they're doing their encounters. And Dash is different. Sometimes he'll come down just once in the morning and we won't see him the rest of the day. He still gets his food in there, but sometimes he doesn't come down for it until, nighttime. And then sometimes he'll come down 2 or 3 times throughout the day while we're doing another encounter. I usually have those blinds cracked and you can see his little head will come down out of the corner of the door and be looking at us right there.
I'm ready.
Yeah, and so he established his own routine and his own schedule. So we started our sloth encounters with Flash when he decided that he wanted to start doing them. So for the first 2 years that we had him, he was not really that comfortable with somebody being in there talking to him. He just looked at us like we were a bunch of weirdos. And then he started to realize that every morning the same thing happens at the same time. 9:30, everybody gets here, they open up my door, and I start hearing everybody chop up my breakfast. I'm going to be getting it pretty soon. So he started to realize that if I go ahead and start coming down and starting to, make my way down, by the time they're done chopping up my breakfast, I'm already going to be down there ready for it. And so we would start to then try to start hand feeding him. And the first several times he was not interested. He's like, what are you doing? Get that out of my face. I'll eat it on my own time. But then started to realize that, we're okay. We're not trying to do anything weird to him.
Yeah.
And then And then finally it got to the point where we would open up that door and he would start to hook onto the door frame. This branch wasn't here, and he'd hook onto the door frame and start reaching out, and we'd still be here chopping up breakfast, trying to get our attention. And so then that's when we built this branch, and we were like, well, we'll just give him somewhere else to come out and hang out on.
Yeah.
And then it just became normal for, why not other people come and be able to share this
Okay.
experience too.
Now, do they nest or do they just hang in trees?
No, they don't make any type of nests or
Okay.
anything like that. They'll just hang. Sometimes they'll find, like Zoe has certain little, she has two very special branches to her that she likes to set her little booty down in, and she'll hold onto a branch like this and kind of rest her head on her booty, because they can curl all the way up into a complete ball.
Yeah.
They're part of a super order called Sloths, and that means a mammal with a hinged spine. So they have the ability to
Armadillo.
completely, armadillos and anteaters are two
Yeah.
others in that super order,
He was wrapping his leg around
Mhm.
his back earlier.
Yeah, trying to find somewhere comfortable to rest it. When we first got Dash, he was so small that he could not even wrap his legs around our waist. We had to carry him on our arm like this. So when I went to transfer him off of you, how he climbed up on
Yeah.
my arm, that's how we had to hold him
That's
all
how
the
he
time.
remembers.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're a big boy now. But now y'all, like you said, y'all won't do any of the breeding here.
We don't plan to. We have the ability to, because Dash and Zoe are completely unrelated, even though they came from the same breeding facility. He tracks his sloths all the way back from the original sloths that he got 35 years ago, and
Okay.
knows that their genetics are completely different. So we could if we wanted to in the future, but to add a baby into the mix with sloths already as adults being really, really sensitive is, something,
Pretty stressful
yeah,
for
very
everybody.
extra.
Okay.
And our next plans with our sloths is to actually build a sloth house, which is separate from this farm and will be off by itself there, so there's not so much commotion, and we'll just focus on sloths in that house. But that's still in the makings, and we're still, trying to plan for that and everything. So it will definitely not be until then that we consider doing
How,
anything like
how
that.
many do y'all hope to get up to, or?
Four
Have
is
y'all
the
thought
max.
about it?
4 is the max that we're planning on doing right now with the adults. And if we ever do decide to breed, then that'll be something that we'll sell.
Okay.
Most likely. I'm not the owner, so.
Not my problem.
Yeah.
I get that.
Do you guys want me to take some more pictures for you or anything? And you guys are welcome to take them yourself too if you want to.
Well, that's good. I didn't want to mess up anything.
No, you're totally fine. He likes to pose for us when we go back like that because he sees movement. He's like, what's going on over there?
Funky.
That little piece of rice
Little
cracks me
pieces
up.
sticking out.
Funky.
Oh, you're funny.
It is humid in here too.
Yeah. Well, it is outside. Rain yesterday. We drove through it yesterday.
It's almost time for the next people to be coming in for flash. And we'll go in, we'll probably,
He's just chilling.
72, we may take Zoe outside, see what it feels like. But that's always something that we have to watch too, because their temperature is really important, since I said that bacteria is how they will
Yeah.
digest their food. So we only open up their outdoor enclosures when it's above 70 degrees outside. We don't ever open it before that, because if it drops in their enclosure, like I said,
It
their
drops
body
their
temperature
metabolism
would
way
too.
down.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's always something we have to keep an eye on. Because if we ran into an issue with that, like overnight in the winter or something, if somehow one of the doors were left cracked and overnight the temperature dropped in their enclosure, the next morning we could come in and that bacteria in their gut could be completely demolished. And since we don't have those moths and they don't make any form of a synthetic bacteria to give them that replicates the same stuff they're using to digest their food, you're basically out of luck. There's different methods that you can try to get that bacteria up and running again, but they still have to have a little bit of bacteria left in their system for that to actually
Yeah, to
work.
jumpstart.
Yeah, and so that's always something that you have to be really, really careful about, because once you've done it wrong the first time, it's not always a learning.
Yeah, you
thing.
can't, you don't have a curve to go by.
Exactly, yeah.
So do y'all have monitors down here for, I guess y'all have backup generators
Oh, yeah,
and stuff?
yeah.
Okay.
That, and there's cameras in their enclosures and everything that's like,
Okay.
it's got temperature and everything on it.
Okay.
And Kevin, the one that keeps coming in to do the cameras, he's a little weirdo and he likes to watch those every night when he goes home.
That's not
I
it.
don't, yeah,
Trust me.
I don't do that, but,
That's all I have on my TikTok
Yeah.
anymore. It's just sloths. And that's They have a sloth encounter about 45 minutes away from us in Lynchburg. Can't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name of it? It's kind of like a little zoo. It's in a shopping mall, of all places.
Yeah.
But they have one, and funny enough, the sloth they have was called Flash also.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's pretty common name for him,
Yeah.
especially because of Zootopia.
Right. And he's pretty cool, docile. They, not so much to where you could hold them, feed them, pet them, but
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
he's just
just-
kind of his little blanket.
yeah, he was like, I'm just not down with that
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, it's definitely a learning curve for them because they are naturally very solitary animals. Even if they're born and raised in captivity around people their whole lives, it doesn't guarantee that they're going to be wanting to, climb onto you and everything.
I just feel like out there in the wild, they're always semi-invasive.
Yeah, and if you were to try to hold a sloth like this for the first time, that sloth has never been interacted with people before, you just went out into the rainforest and got one out of the tree, it would essentially be the difference between holding a house cat and a feral cat. They definitely would be using all of their energy reserves to try to get away from you, and they do have really sharp teeth as well, and they would definitely be trying to use those as well to
So yeah, they
serve you.
they could be surprisingly quick if they needed.
Oh yeah, yeah. Especially when they're startled from something. It can be kind of misleading because that cute little face, and you can see the front of their mouth there, the little tongue will stick out. They don't have any teeth right there, but on the sides, they've got 4 really sharp canines, and back behind those, all of their molars are not flat like ours are. They're all pointed as well.
Okay.
Yeah, so if they get a good, bite of something into their mouth, they can definitely do some damage. Their bite force isn't that strong, but their teeth are incredibly sharp.
Right.
And they're made to they fit together to where they'll grind up against each other every time they close their mouths. So it grinds up the leaves that they're eating a lot better than chomping it up.
Okay.
And so that's what they use them for. But if you were to find the skull of a sloth or the skeleton of a sloth without knowing anything about the animal, you would definitely think they were top of the food chain
So it's
because
like
of
a
how
predator.
impressive, and their arms, their front arms are twice as long as their back legs and just as long as the rest of their body. And then on the end of those, they've got those claws. So you'd think they were brachiating like a monkey swinging through the trees, swiping things out as they go by. When in reality, to see what they actually are and how slow and silly looking they are.
It just
pretty
cracks,
ironic.
but the mouth is what cracks me. It just
Yeah.
looks like it's a permagran.
Yeah. What do you think, buddy?
I thought he was going to close his eyes again. That's what he could do.
It cracks me up when he winks at you.
Ooh.
Or sometimes he'll close one eye and then close the other one.
Oh God.
And
Like a
sometimes,
baby falling asleep.
I wish that I could just hear his thought process, because sometimes when I'm looking at him, all I see is just like static or like a little buffering sitting
Yeah, oh,
in the
yeah.
back of his head. Like, I just don't think that there's much going on in there.
Yeah, whenever he's got his eyes kind of like half closed.
And his mouth hanging
Mouth
halfway
wide
open.
open, yeah. Staring at you.
Or eyes hanging out the corner of his mouth.
Yeah, he's kind of been falling asleep with his tongue just kind of
Yeah.
poking out a little bit.
Well, it is right about time for us to switch. I don't know if the next people are out here. Well, I'll go ahead and take Dash, and I'm going to put him back into his enclosure in here. You guys can hang out with Flash here again for just a minute while I get Zoe. And we'll probably take Zoe up to the pavilion.
Okay.
But it's pretty humid in here, and I'm about to have a heat stroke.
All right. That's cool shit.
Mm-hmm.
So he was untethered by that. He's like, I don't mind.
Yeah.
All right. Michaela, these ones have VIP, right?
Yes, so
Where
I'm
are you
gonna
guys
get it.
going there?
I figured we'd
You
probably
guys
go.
going in there?
I figured go to the pavilion.
Good morning.
Morning, morning.
How are you?
Pretty warm in here, isn't it?
Afternoon, everybody. Well, I guess it's still good morning. My bad. Happy Friday. Just letting you know we're about to be going to Sugarloaf Fest. It's just right down the road from us, and it's actually where the new Ocoee State Park is going to be. So we're going to be bringing a ton of our animals. So if you're in the area, the Ocoee area, Tennessee, close to Chattanooga, close to Knoxville, come on by. We're going to have a ton of animals. We're going to have the sloth there, the monkey there, and it's going to be amazing. If you want to book your autumn adventure, go onto our website, OcoeeRiversideFarm.com, and book it. It's going to be a beautiful fall. We're going to head back in and finish up a sloth encounter. They're doing some changes right now, but keep watching and it's gonna be a great day. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. All right guys, we're gonna go back in and catch back up with the sloth encounter, but I was letting them move everything around and we're gonna catch back up.
I've seen you on Facebook a time or two.
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes.
Watch out, watch out, watch. Okay, good.
Hey sis, yes, we are taking one of the sloths to Sugarloaf Fest. Hey guys, so like we were saying earlier, we're about to head to Sugarloaf Fest, so make sure you jump on our website, come on out and visit us. Watch John, he's going to be doing an encounter. It's going to be amazing. Thank you so much for watching us all the time, and we really, really appreciate it. Hope you're having an awesome day, and you're going to get to see Flash and John in action. It's going to be great.
Yeah, his name is Jeremiah Teets, and we have a couple of differences in philosophy, but he's a good guy. I like him, and they do sloth encounters there. And one thing that he has that I don't have is cat bears. He has a number of things that I don't have because he is just full on too. But I'm trying to stay a little smaller, a little more personal. Jeremiah's a great guy. I love him. All right, y'all come on in. He just bought that zoo. It was someone else's. I forget what it's called. But, yeah, he's all right. All right, guys, this is Flash. Flash is a two-toed sloth, two-fingered sloth. Taxonomically, they are still called two-toed and three-toed, but it makes a little more sense to call them two-fingered and three-fingered because it is more like they have all fingers and no toes than all toes and no fingers. And the sloths all have three toes on the back feet. The two-toed has two on the front, three-toed has three on the front. And they are different in other ways. The two-fingered sloth is a little bit larger, a little bit quicker than a three-toed sloth. But to describe a two-fingered sloth as quicker than anything, you could only be talking about a three-fingered sloth. Because collectively they are the world's slowest animals. We're going to start out and see if he'll take some veggies for us this morning. But he might just say, no, it's time for my snack. So to feed the sloth, all you gotta do is show him the food, but he does smell it, not see it. So you gotta be a little bit patient till he smells, and no, he says no, I'm not up for the veggies. Might just go right on to his snack food this morning. Because when he gives it the sniff and turns his head, probably not gonna eat it. And you guys are welcome to feed him out of the dishes, or you can feed him directly out of your hand if you prefer. The But if you're feeding him out of your hand, he is gonna lick your finger, so just be aware of that.
So what is his snack? Looks like rice.
His snack is rice, dog food, and sweet potato.
Oh, okay.
And he likes it a lot. Sloths eat a tremendous amount of food. During the day, he's eating all leaves. Here in the morning, it's his snack time.
Gotcha.
And so he's said, oh no, where's my snack? So we're gonna have to wake him back up for a second. If you just hold it up here for him to sniff it, then it'll be like, oh, okay, well, yeah, I do want some of that after all. And it may take him a while. And you can either feed it to him out of the dish like that, or you can feed him out of your hand just like that. Either way is fine, but if you feed him out of your hand, he's going to grip your hand with his other foot, and he'll lick your fingers. So if you're not comfortable with that, because the sloth has big old teeth, just feed him out of the dish. Totally up to you. I feed him out of my hand every day,
Yeah?
and he hasn't bitten anyone yet, but you could be first, who knows?
Yeah.
I'm kidding, he's not going to bite you.
Hi.
This is a two-fingered sloth. Alive in the world today are two-fingered and three-fingered sloths, as I just said. The differences between them make more sense if you look at a skeleton picture than if you look at the animal, and I don't have a second one here to show you.
Is it snack?
And nearly every sloth that you see in the continental U.S. is going to be a two-fingered sloth, because the three-fingered sloths eat almost exclusively sarcopia leaves, and sarcopia trees do not grow in the continental U.S., so that makes them tricky to feed.
Yeah.
The skeletons of the sloths, this is a three-fingered sloth. We're looking at a two, this is a three.
Hello.
The three-fingered sloth you see has 9 vertebrae in the cervical spine, big long neck, and he has 3 vertebrae of a tail. The two-fingered sloth, which is this guy, has only 5 in the cervical spine between skull and shoulders, and he has no tail. So all the extras that are missing out of the neck and out of the tail are between the hips and shoulders of the two-fingered sloth.
There you go,
So
buddy.
the three-fingered sloth is going to more rotate its head like an owl. It can go about 270 around with its head with that big long neck.
Yeah.
The three-fingered, the 3 missing from the tail and the 4 missing from the neck are all here between the hips and shoulders of the two-fingered sloth. So if this is hips and this is shoulders, he can rotate from hips to shoulders until his hips and shoulders are about 180 apart.
Oh, wow.
And tremendous core strength. You can see this guy's like kind of planked right now, and he does not care. His core is really, really strong. So everyone knows that sloths are slow, but sloths are slow in ways that it may not have occurred to you it would even be possible to be slow. The sloth is slow not only in their movement, they're slow in their digestion, metabolism, metabolic processes. They are slow in every single way that an animal could possibly be slow. So slow in their digestion. A sloth eats a tremendous amount of food. They eat about 10% of their body mass every single day.
Wow.
In the wild, that's about 90% leaf material. Here, it's about 70% leaf material. The sloth, even though he is eating a tremendous amount of food, he goes to the bathroom only once in a week or 10 days, 3 or 4 times a month.
Wow.
When he does go to the bathroom, he is going to eliminate 1/3 of his total body mass when he goes to the bathroom. Solid and liquid, separately but at the same time. He's going to come all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, and go to the bathroom on the exact same spot that he always goes. He's going to be hugged up to the tree like this and just and let her rip. And it is going to be 1/3 of his total body mass when he goes. Putting those numbers to human perspective, I weigh about 200 pounds. So that would be me rolling into Outback and saying, bring me 16, or no, sorry, I used to say 16 when I was lighter. That would be me rolling in and saying, bring me 20 of the 16-ounce porterhouse steaks, and I'm going to eat that today. Or hitting the golden arches and saying, bring me 80 of the quarter pounders because I'm kind of hungry today.
Yeah.
And then if I was going to eliminate 1/3 of my total body mass, we're talking about 60 pounds. So a bag of dog food and a 5-gallon bucket all at once. And that's going to happen in about 2 to 3 minutes.
Wow.
So sloth, he's up at the top of the trees. That's his hangout. That's his groove, is being in the tops of the trees. His normal daily routine is he wanders around out of the edges of the branches, and he'll be hanging with 2 or 3 of his feet, and he'll reach out with the other foot and pull the branch down to his mouth, and he'll be like,
Remind me, I want to get
Do you
all
want
of
to try
the tortoise, the fresh
feed him
tortoise
some?
food.
He's just
for
about
babies.
8.
Get
Here,
their
let's see
food
if we can switch
in
out,
the
buddy.
cooler at the horse barn. So
No.
that way all the supplies.
Just pictures of there.
So the, you can feed him straight out of your hand too if you
There
like.
you go.
So he eats all the leaves off the ends of the branches. That is his niche in the food chain. You put it in your hand like this,
Like
and
that,
he'll
okay.
like lick it out of your
Oh.
hand. His niche in the food chain is eating the leaves out of the ends of the branches that nobody else really wants. And then, of course, he's converting that back to soil. When you look at the skeleton of the sloth, if you were a scientist who dug one of these up and were trying to determine what type of animal it is, the massive teeth and the huge claws and the big long arms and the big long legs and the extremely heavy structure of his body could lead you to some pretty inaccurate conclusions about what this animal does for a living. You would probably come up with the idea that this guy is swinging around the tops of the trees and laying waste to everything. You would almost certainly not come up with the idea that this is a slow, peaceful animal who's going to hide every day of his life.
Thanks, Alex. Go ahead. As they stand in the store, we have brought down some chops for the tortoises.
Yeah.
Right,
Trying to figure out why it's still talking when I turn my volume off. There's 2 laying here. Like, I don't need to know about tortoises right now. They're cool, but that's not what we're here to talk about.
So they are extremely slow at digesting.
Extremely, yes.
Wow.
Once in a week or 10 days is all they go to the bathroom. And so the sloth hangs out in the tops of the trees. He's at the ends of the branches. When he's in the tops of the trees, he's nearly entirely safe. The snakes are a big hunter in the forest where he lives. The snake cannot find a sloth. The sloth has no scent gland, sweat gland, musk gland, none of that, unlike me who's standing here sweating like a pig. He has none of that, so he cannot, a snake hunts by smell and by temperature difference. The sloth also is so low in his energy budget, he does not maintain his body temperature. His core body temperature will be whatever the outside air temperature is. Daytime high in the rainforest can be in the upper 80s, nighttime low in the high 60s, and his core body temperature will follow that range of temperatures every day. So his daytime high core body temperature can be 19 degrees Fahrenheit more than his nighttime low core body temperature. Human perspective, that would be me dropping from 98.6 to 79.6. Obviously that wouldn't work. But for the sloth, that's the goals. The sloth, so with no natural scent to a sloth and no temperature difference between him and the environment, it is literally impossible for a snake to find a sloth. If it found it, it would be just pure dumb luck. The cat cannot get to the sloth in the top of the rainforest canopy. The sloth, his eyes, which we'll discuss in a while, are geared to detect motion, not shapes and objects. So when he sees motion coming his way, anything coming toward a sloth is bad news for a sloth. So his instinct is end of the branch, get to the end of the branch, and then boing, the branch is going to hang down underneath his body weight, and he only weighs about 15 pounds. The cat, large enough to threaten his life, he can weigh a minimum of 40. And so the cat is going to try to come along the top of the branch like this to get to him, and he's not going to be able to get there. Should the cat press the issue to the point that the branch breaks and the whole mess falls 100 feet to the rainforest floor, this built like a tank sloth is almost certainly going to survive a 100-foot drop, and the cat will almost certainly not. And the sloth is going to look over the cat and he's going to say, ha, ha, and back up the tree he goes, and the cat will not be returning to the canopy of the rainforest. The one animal that the sloth is subject to in the top of the trees is the harpy eagle. The harpy eagle is very big, very strong, hunts by vision, not by smell, not by temperature, and he doesn't need the weight of the branch obviously to support him because he flies. So the sloth is subject to the harpy eagle at the top of the tree, but that's pretty much it. So even though the sloth is entirely safe in the top of the tree, yet he comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, to go to the bathroom in the same place that he always goes. So Scientists spent a couple of decades figuring out why that was the case. And, scientists sometimes, they do their best, bless their hearts. And sometimes they come up with some pretty stupid ideas on the way to the correct ideas or not. And the first stupid idea on why a sloth comes all the way down the tree, same side of the tree, to go directly on the ground in the same place that he always goes, is he's a neat animal. I mean, come on. If he's neat, no matter where it falls, it doesn't affect him to the top of the tree. And he's not the Adrian Monk of the rainforest. He's not going to risk his life to come down and because he's neat. No. So then you can wash your hands in that sink right there.
Yeah.
Then the next idea was that the sloth is fertilizing his own tree via his waste. Again, stupid idea. I mean, if it falls from anywhere in the canopy of the tree, it's going to fall above the root system of the tree, so net effect is zero.
Yeah.
So the actual reason why the sloth comes down the tree, same side of the tree, is the sloth-moth symbiosis. So it is a symbiotic relationship between sloths and moths. And the nature of that symbiosis, which of course symbiotic means beneficial to both sides, where parasitic would be beneficial to one, neutral, harmful, or even ending to the other. The benefit is equal both ways. So there is a type of moth in the world called a sloth moth. There are a few kinds of sloth moths. They live nowhere in the world except in the fur and in the waste pile of a sloth. When the sloth comes down the tree, the sloth moths, which there can be 100 to 150 of these moths, crawling all in his fur every day of his life. When he comes down, not here, praise the Lord.
Yeah.
When he comes down the tree, the moths fly down into the waste pile, lay their eggs, and get back to the sloth as quickly as they can because he is only going to be down for 2 or 3 minutes, so they don't want to miss the ride back to the canopy.
Oh.
The moths lay their eggs in the waste pile, and this week's eggs or next week's larvae are the following week's moths. So every time that he comes down the tree, there's another step in that process. And every time he comes down, there are new moths to fly up on top of the sloth, and they will live their entire life on the sloth. The sloth, you guys are welcome to pet this guy. He is soft. He doesn't look like he would be soft, but he is.
How do they bathe?
He licks himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
And that is an important thing we're going to talk about here in just a second.
his hair is actually coarser than what I thought it would be.
Oh, really? Most people think it's softer than they
Yeah.
thought it would be.
Hey, bud.
It looks like it'd be just straight up wire. But the benefit to the moth is that the sloth is the food source and the living environment of the moths. So the moths will live their entire life on the sloth. They are feeding on the moss and algae that is all in the sloth's fur, and they are then fertilizing the same via their waste. So the benefits to the sloth, first, as they eat the moss and algae and fertilize it via their waste, more moss, more algae, more disguise from harpy eagles. Second, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the moths themselves. That is the protein source for the sloth. Third, and most importantly, as the sloth grooms himself, he licks up a certain amount of the waste of the moths. The waste of the moths are the key to the game for the sloth. The waste of the moths are where the sloth gets his gut bacteria that digests his food. Now, we also have helpful gut bacteria. Our gut bacteria will last throughout our lives unless we take a whole lot of antibiotics. If we take a lot of antibiotics, we need probiotics or Greek yogurt to fix our gut health back up. He's in the rainforest. He's never heard of GNC. He doesn't know the way to Publix, nor does he have a ride. So he's getting no probiotics, no Greek yogurt. So the source of his replacement gut bacteria is the moths. The waste of the moths is how he replenishes his gut bacteria colony.
Wow.
Here, he doesn't need the moths, praise the Lord. We wouldn't want to be in here with 150 moths living on him all the time. I'm sorry, I gotta pull up my nose. One second. So the waste of the moths is the bacteria colony for the sloth. Now, for us, what interrupts our gut health is antibiotics. For him, what interrupts his gut health is cold temperature. If the sloth's core body temperature drops down too low, it extinguishes his gut bacteria colony, and he then replenishes it as he grooms himself via the waste of the moths. That's why it's so doggone hot in here. We never, ever, ever let a sloth get cold, and his gut bacteria will last throughout his life, just like ours would if we never ever took antibiotics. It is a proven fact that if the sloth's moth colony failed to thrive, the sloth would starve. It would take him about 30 days to starve, and with a stomach full of food, he would starve because he doesn't have the ability to digest without the probiotics from the waste of the moths. Now here, he doesn't need the moths because first, he doesn't require disguise. There's nothing here hunting him. Second, he doesn't need the protein. We have other protein sources we give him, such as hard-boiled eggs. And third, he doesn't need to replenish his gut bacteria because he never ever gets cold, so his gut bacteria will last throughout his life. That is one of the major challenges in keeping sloths, is if you're going to keep a sloth, you need to be a sloth poopologist. You have to be able to look at what comes out of the sloth and know what's going on in the sloth and adjust his diet accordingly. And that is obviously he doesn't go every day, but that is an important part of keeping sloths. It's just like when you have a baby, you look at what's in the diaper to know what's going on inside of the child because he can't speak to tell you. The other things about a sloth. The sloth is, the other ways that a sloth is slow. Most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their young. Most mammals nurse their young for a long period of time. Sloth, not so. According to a study by the San Diego Zoo in their San Diego Zoo knowledge base, which is pretty good information in most cases, it says that a male baby sloth will eat milk from its mother for about 14 days and a female baby sloth for about 27 days. But any way you slice it, not long at all.
Yeah.
Now, most mammals produce, store, deliver milk for their young. A sloth doesn't have anything in the energy budget for the storage phase. If it's not immediately needed, a sloth isn't going to make it. So the sloth produces milk drop by drop as the baby drinks the milk. For the first 3 days, the baby will eat exclusively milk, and after 3 days, the baby is on a solid diet supplemented by the milk from the mother. When the baby starts eating solid food, it eats food out of mom's mouth. So mom isn't regurgitating. There's no way for anything to move in reverse through a sloth system. But as it chews the food, the bacteria in mom's mouth gets all on the food, and that is where the baby gets its initial gut bacteria colony. The bacteria does not pass through the milk. It comes from mom's mouth by her chewing up the food and then the baby eating the food out of mom's mouth. Our baby sloths here, which we're getting a new one today. Our baby sloths here, Dom's on the way to the airport. Our baby sloths here stay with their mother until their mother weans them of her own choosing. All of our sloths here are many generations captive bred. This is the difference between a house cat and a feral cat. If you have a house cat, it will sit in your lap and purr while you pet it. Take your cat out of the woods and see what happens.
Yeah.
So that is the primary reason why I have a sloth encounter here. Is I went to one off of a cruise ship and I thought it was great and wonderful and lovely and had fantastic pictures and a lifetime experience, and I was horrified when I found out a year later that those sloths on average live for 1 month, because they take them out of the rainforest, dunk them in a bucket of bleach, pull their teeth out and throw them in the encounter, and most of them are so stressed they don't eat again. And when the sloth dies hanging on a person's neck, they're like, oh, he went to sleep, and throw it away and get another one. And their opinion on that is, you eat beef, where do you think it came from? My opinion on that is, this ain't a cow. So I wanted there to be an ethical and appropriate place to handle sloths. That's why there's only 2 people at a time. The sloths only see 2 hours of encounters per day. But anyhow, the babies, they do not come until the mother weans them of her own choosing, and then they have to pass the ambassador protocol as an individual, not as part of a paired group. And the ambassador protocol is that they actively seek human attention and they genuinely enjoy human contact. That's why our other sloths sit in your lap while you hold them. Some other things about a sloth. A sloth is extremely strong. Pound for pound, Buddy, you gonna wake up and see us or what? Still has snack left? If you get him back out here with his snack, I'll take your pictures for you before he ends. Just show him the dish and bring him back out, and then lead him down to hang all the way down with the dish, and then I'll take your photo for you with your camera. I don't need your picture on my camera, but you need the memories. Excellent. Let me have your phone. I'll take your picture for you. He's going to come out, and as you hold it up to him, just lead him down with the dish like this, and then you can stand right next to him like this with his face, your face, and I'll be happy to take your photos for you. So a sloth, pound for pound, they are about 3 times as strong as a human, but of course, overall, they are not stronger than a human because they only weigh 15 pounds. But pound for pound, they are very, very strong.
He's coming.
Yeah, he's getting there. The sloth, when he is hanging in the tree, it is not, though, a matter of strength that keeps him hanging in the tree. It is a matter of design. So when the sloth is hanging in the tree, he is exerting no energy at all to maintain his grip on the branch. So for us, if we were trying to do a 2-arm hang, a minute is a long time to do a 2-arm hang. The sloth, not so. The sloth has tremendously tight tendons in his hand and in his forearm. So wow, clamp down like that. That is the natural relaxed state of a sloth.
Mail went black.
It's okay. I'll get it here in a second. Let me give him a little piece of an apple. That's his very, very, very favorite thing. So the sloth is hanging by design, not by strength or anything else. The sloth has horrible vision. Well, we would call it horrible vision. He would call it purpose-driven vision. So the sloth has a structure to his eyes called rod monochromacy. He has all rod cells, no cone cells. And when he can't see the difference between me and either one of you.
What's this?
You just take the apple in your hand. And, hey, Bubba.
He's not having that either.
He's not. You gotta hold it so he smells it, he doesn't see it. Hey, Bob. What you doing, dude?
There we go.
And when you just first hold it up, he just thinks you're just sticking something else in his face. Takes him a minute to smell it. So now if you hold it up there and let him get a good whiff of it, and be like, ooh, apple time.
He does chew that thing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, look at that.
And he'll come right down to you if you
Yeah.
just.
Looky there. Will he like bite it off?
No, he's gonna eat the whole thing at once.
Yeah? Okay.
But just give him one by one, he'll hang down after him.
Okay.
So he's hanging by nature. His clamp down is the natural relaxed state of the sloth. So he is exerting no energy at all to hang in a tree. If the sloth's life ended while hanging in a tree, he wouldn't fall. He would continue to hang there until something knocked him loose or until something rotted.
Oh.
The sloth, when he's hanging upside down, people often ask me how he can swallow when he's upside down. You could too. Peristalsis is what moves your food from back of your mouth to your stomach. He's got the same. But he does have a one-way valve in the top of his stomach, so the food comes in like this, but it can't go back out. Hanging upside down all the time, eventually he would have stuff that would leak back up if he didn't have the one-way in the top of his stomach. The sloth has a tremendous network of connective tissue that goes back and forth between his ribs and all of his guts. So for us, our guts are just sitting in our pelvis, upper bounded by our diaphragm, and so our stuff is just kind of sloshy in there, to be honest. And if we were like on an inversion table for a couple of hours, you would get short of breath and pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But the sloth doesn't. The sloth, because he has all the connective tissue going all back and forth between his organs and his ribs, his stuff all remains position and orientation exactly where it needs to be all of the time. And so no matter if he's vertically right side up like this, if he's hanging vertically upside down like that, if he's hanging horizontally upside down like that, he can be laying on his back, belly, or side. You're gonna see the way he goes back up into his room in a minute here. He does not live on this sad little branch in the kitchen.
Do you want to feed?
And no matter what his body position and orientation is, his position and orientation of his guts remains exactly what it needs to be all of the time.
Yeah, there it is. Got it? Yeah, you just use this little. He's so sweet. Yeah.
The last bone of his finger is inside of those claws, and they don't do this, they just do that. He is of the order Zathorin, which is sloths, armadillos, and anteaters. That is mammals with a hinged spine, and they can all ball up to one extent or another. But him and the armadillo are the certified professionals at making a total ball.
So do they just drink like water and not?
They
very
don't
much?
drink very much water at all. They get almost all of their water from their food. There is water available to him all the time. His dishes are on the other side of this thing right here, and he does not have to perform to eat. Anything he doesn't eat during his encounter goes into his dish, and he will lead him down a little bit.
Yeah, I
We'll
was
get
trying
back
to get
photo.
him down. High enough. Well, maybe it's gonna come over here.
Hey, Bub.
Maybe if you come over on this
Yeah.
side, he might.
Maybe.
He's going over too.
There he goes. Well, you mark it done. Here we go. What about here? No, there's nothing he's done.
If you mock my voice and say, "Hey, Flash," he does better.
Hey, Flash. Oh, there you go. I'll take it. There you go. So yeah, super soft. Thank you
So
very
you
much.
guys are going to get to see the way Flash goes back up in his room.
Okay.
Let's see if Kevin's going to do that on video or not.
I thought you were doing it earlier. Yeah, that's all.
I figured. All right, so he is going to go either outside or up to his hammock, one or the other. It's up to him.
Oh.
And you can walk in here, Bob, and see the way Sloth moves around. And he is quicker than you might think. That's his hammock up there. The big window up above us is the living room window of the Camel condo, which is a place that you can stay up there. Well, now he's noticed the door's open, so he's gonna swing over this way. He's probably gonna go outside. A little fresh air and sunshine. Looks big when he stretches out and walks
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
He looks huge.
He's awesome.
Welcome. Someone's standing next to the branch, he's gonna walk right along it. Yeah.
He's the one, he doesn't really much care to be out there.
No. No, I've had him 4 years, I've never owned that sloth.
No. But Zoe's the one anyway.
Zoe and Dash and Chloe.
Dash,
Flash is teasing us.
yes. So I gotta pick out names for your new one that you're getting?
Chloe.
Chloe?
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty. Like psych.
Yes, he said it's colder out there than I thought.
He's colored really pretty.
Yes, he's decided it's nap time inside.
Done speeding and we're getting his hammock.
In here?
Oh,
Oh, cool. Where are you staying?
at the band.
Nice. Do you like it?
I haven't been over there yet. I
Oh,
haven't
no.
been until 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But we're excited about that. That seems pretty cool.
It is Friday. It's all you can eat catfish day at the Ocoee Dam Deli Diner tonight.
Nice.
And they're not scared to keep bringing it.
Love some good catfish.
John, you want to tell us
Recommend for dinner tonight.
what's going on this weekend? A bunch of people are asking.
Yeah, we are going out to the Sugarloaf Festival. If you're local, come out and see us. We will be over at the Sugarloaf Park on 64 Highway at Dam number 1. And it is the Jeep Festival. They'll have a whole bunch of Jeeps out there. Are they doing classic cars on Sunday?
Probably, maybe.
I think last year was Jeeps on Saturday and classic cars on Sunday. I'm not positive if they're doing classic cars on Sunday, but it is a 2-day event. We will be out there. We will have a sloth and kangaroos. We will have a petting farm. And I think we're gonna bring Humphrey the baby camel out there to see you guys this weekend. So come on out and see us, it'll be a good time. And there will be food trucks and other vendors selling other artsy craftsy kind of stuff. But it's a good time, come out and see us.